Thank you, Clayton. Well, they died in the line of duty serving this country, but these Navy SEALs have not been honored for their service. Why not, is the question.
Perhaps because Glenn Doherty and Tyrone Woods were killed during the terror attacks in Bengazi. And 1 year later, many of the questions surrounding that attack are still being brushed under the rug, we're told. Debbie Lee's son, Mark Allen Lee, was the first Navy SEAL to make the ultimate sacrifice in Iraq. She's behind a push to make sure other brave SEALs do not get snubbed. Thank you so much for being with us. Good to see you this morning.
You bet. Thanks for having me. It's always good to be back on Fox and Friends.
Thank you so much. Tell us about this bill, what you're trying to push.
Yes, the bill is H.R. 1186. It was introduced in March. I approached Duncan Hunter's office and asked for help on this, and as a Marine himself, he stepped up to the plate and said, of course, I would be honored to introduce the legislation. He's from California, which is where Ty and Glenn both lived and served, as well as my son did. And so the legislation was introduced. We have over 40 co-sponsors. It's a nonpartisan bill. This is just to get the Congressional Gold Medal for Glenn and Ty. Those men went into the fire for 7 hours without regard for their own lives and willingly gave their lives defending that embassy, trying to save the ambassador and Sean Smith, and the many, many lives that were saved that day. And we owe it to them. This is the least that we can do.
Yes.
To let them know we remember their sacrifice and let their families know we'll never forget.
It is very much the least we can do, and of course we're rooting for the passage of this bill. But we could also arrest and punish the people who murdered them. Is your sense that the administration is moving at all toward doing that?
You know, that's one of the things that has been so frustrating for me. Since my son's death, I've dedicated my life to advocating for the troops. And this is one of those areas that it's been over a year now, and those families still don't have answers. We as a nation don't have the answers. And the cover-up that has gone on is just repulsive to me, that we can't get the truth out there. Obviously, there's OPSEC things that we do that we can't reveal to the American public, but there are a lot of those answers there that we need, that we should have, and I'm calling on the administration to get those for us.
Debbie, I understand you have a personal connection to Tyrone Woods or Ty's family. What is that?
Yes, as I mentioned, my son Mark was the first Navy SEAL that was killed in Iraq on August 2nd, 2006. And I found out after Ty's death that Ty was actually one of Mark's Bud's instructors. And Ty's wife told me that often Ty would talk about Mark and the amazing hero he was and his remembrances of him. And so it is my honor for Ty and for Glenn to fight for them, to make sure that they do get this recognition. And this bill is nonpartisan. It doesn't have anything to do with my political feelings and opinions on what's going on in Bengazi.
Yes.
That's why it's nonpartisan. Every Democrat, every Republican should sign on to this. And I've been up on Capitol Hill the last 2 days, been in over 100 congressional offices trying to get the members of the House of Representatives to sign on as co-sponsors of this bill.
Surely.
So that's something that people can do, is call your representative and say, get on this bill. And then call Eric Cantor's office and say, we need it, it's time for a vote.
Yeah.
Debbie, surely you'll get 100% of support. I can't imagine.
Yeah, we'll be keeping track to find out.
Thank you so much.
You do. Debbie, thanks a
You
lot
bet.
for joining us. We really
And thank you
appreciate
for
it.
your
Thank you,
ultimate
guys.
sacrifice, Debbie. You're in our thoughts and
Thank
prayers.
you.
I can't imagine what you're going through, but thank you for
Thank
all
you.
your
Definitely
support.
was my very best.
Thanks.
Well, dramatic